Hey, Cole. Do you feel like at this point you're just really competing for a spot in the rotation versus bullpen, and that you've done enough that you've made this club, and it just depends on what the role is? Or do you feel like you're still trying to show them something?
I still feel like I'm trying to show them something. I have really no idea what, you know, their roles are for me. I mean, I think they obviously want me to be able to guy that can go, at least 5 innings out the gate here. And, but every time I go out there, I feel like I got something to prove. So I'm not trying to think in that way at all. I'm trying to just, at least make the adjustments I need to make on the way, to the season, and just kind of stay focused on that.
Rich Dubroff, you're up next. Go ahead, Rich.
Hey, Cole, when the season was put on hold back in March, you had just pitched a 3-inning stint. Do you think that you've caught up now and that you're right where you need to be physically?
Physically?
Physically, yes.
Yeah. I do. I mean, I don't know. It is different. Just because in spring, I think just we all get so used to that. We all get so used to having, 6 to 8 weeks to really be able to face hitters and at least use that, that intel that we gather to kind of at least prepare for what the beginning of the season is going to be like. And not having that is obviously a lot, it's very different for everybody. So I do feel like I could go out there and pitch and throw 5 or 6 innings right now pretty, and I trust that my body is going to hold up for 60 games, but it is different. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It is a different feeling getting here, or, at least being home, facing guys for 3 or 4 innings and then showing up and doing it for real for at least 3 or 4 innings right out the gate. But, it's just an adjustment that everybody's in that boat, and we're all going to have to make it. And I think the guys that, listen to their bodies the best, I think those guys are going to be the best prepared. But
John
it is very different. I don't want it to sound like it's the same, because it's not. I mean, this is different. Everybody is definitely feeling very different than they would, if opening day was, if it was April and we were at opening day.
John Mioli, you're up next. Go ahead, John.
How's it going, Cole?
Good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Given how different it is and how stunted the season has gone with the spring training getting cut short and the long break, I know there were a lot of things that the organization thought that could help you improve, whether it's pitch mix stuff, delivery stuff. How has implementing all that gone in these circumstances, in these conditions? How do you feel like that's taken hold?
It's an adjustment, but luckily we had spring, so I kind of knew some of the things that they had worked on with me. So I kind of knew whenever I went back home some of the things that I really needed to at least hone in from their perspective and try to apply to my game. But it is, going out and doing it in games is different, and that's kind of where I'm at. I need to kind of hone those things in, and that's kind of what we're in the process of working on. Every start to start, it's going to obviously be those are the things that we're going to look at: pitch usage, and maybe using my pitches in a little bit of a different way that I have in the past. And I think myself and the staff is confident that if I can do those things and apply them the way that I think we all want me to, I think I can have success, and I think we're going to get the results that we want. But that's a process, and it happens over time. And I think the more starts that I get, the more innings that I get, the more that I can get some feedback from hitters, the better that plan is going to kind of come into scope. And I think we'll be able to execute it a little bit better and better each time out.
You mentioned pitching. Oh, sorry. Is it mostly just how you use your stuff and when, or is it new pitches, different pitches? How specific are you willing?
It really has a lot to do with sequencing and certain pitches that I haven't really ever in the past played off of one another. I think there's some pitches that I've underutilized in the past, like my changeup and my slider, and I don't think that I've given those pitches enough of a workload, I guess, if you could say, during a start. Sometimes I get a little bit pitch happy, a little bit cutter or sinker happy, and I'm not in. So I think those pitches can be more effective when, the rest of my arsenal is kind of used in a little bit of a better way. And I think that's kind of, you know, and I know you're not going to ask which pitches particular, but, you know, a lot of it stems from the changeup and the slider and just playing those off of different sides of the plate with my sinker and my cutter, then obviously my four seam up at times.
Jeff Arnold, you're up next. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Cole, thanks for doing this. So can you kind of take me through like what the difference really for you is between the cutter and the slider and just kind of how they work and, you know, the difference between them?
So the cutter is just it's a true cutter. I mean, it's going to be a little bit harder. If I'm feeling good that day, I hope it's in the high 80s, maybe in the low 90s. And it's really just on both sides of the plate. I mean, a lot of guys know when they step in the box against me that, you know, they're going to look for that sinker. They're going to try to remove the bottom part of the, you know, bottom half of the plate, and they're going to try to leave those pitches down there. But the cutter kind of gives me a little bit more leeway, and it gives me more length on that side of the plate, on both sides of the plate. Because if I mean, I feel like I'm giving you guys way too much information right now, but it gives me more length. It gives them less time to kind of make up their mind right away, and because, you know, if a pitch starts in on the inner half and it can do both things, it can run on their hands, then it can also come back over the plate. That's obviously going to give me a little bit more margin. And I'm going to be able to kind of stay on those corners, and, you know, then my off speed will play up, you know, as well. So that's kind of a little bit of insight into the plan.
Dan Conley, you're up next. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, Cole, you said you feel like you'll be ready for 5 innings or you know, something of that stint. But if there's a lot of piggybacking going on due to, you know, the shortened innings here, do you feel like the piggybacking, will that be difficult for you? Will you be able to have to do any adjustments, or will it be just kind of like a similar thing as a middle reliever?
No, I mean, last year I was, you know, I started, I relieved, I came in. I mean, I've had guys open for me. I mean, I feel like I've done everything. I feel like I'm, from a mental, you know, from an approach perspective, I'm ready for anything that they throw at me.